Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and today we're going to be going over all 4-star Earth Element familiars that are currently in the game on Kuni Crossworlds. We're going to talk about what they do, what their unique global buffs are. If you're wondering why I'm on the summon page right now, it is because you can see their full level 10 specs, and the other web pages out there actually do not show the global buffs right now. So let's go ahead, take a look at their abilities, and let's dig in. So the first one that we're going to go over is going to be Staghorn. Now, if you've seen my other elemental videos, I have actually talked about Staghorn a little bit because Staghorn is one of the examples where he actually received 2 global exclusive buffs, which are really cool, and I think it does change him a little bit. He's going to be, still not nearly as good in my opinion as Molten Lion, because he's not going to be able to kind of grant that immortality effect, but he's still going to be pretty good. Now, at the base level, he's going to have Staghorn's Heart passive, which is going to reduce damage taken by 1% for each Earth familiar equipped. That's going to go up to 3% when you do max out this ability. He's also going to give Knockdown, Subdue, Impact, and Pushback resistance rate. It's going to be anywhere between plus 20 to 50%, depending, again, on what tier you have him awakened. So really good to have the Knockdown, Subdue, Impact, and Pushback resistance. This is the global exclusive buff that is on him. And this is going to make you quite substantially a little bit more tankier. You're going to be able to take some hits. If you've ever been, either doing the world boss or doing this other content where you're getting knocked down and it's affecting your DPS, that's what it's going to kind of protect you from. Now, Divine Protection is where he actually gets a significant buff here. So this is his active ability. It's going to be damage taken minus 12.5% for 7 seconds. That does go up to 25%. It's also going to instantly reflect the difference in damage taken. So if you are, going to be taking 12.5% less damage, that damage is going to be reflected back on the opponent. And then with that reflection of damage, it's going to have a 5% chance to stun the target for 1 second. Now, this stun effect was added on the global side. This is really powerful. What this always makes me think about is Final Fantasy XIV. For anyone that's ever played, a tank and you're pulling large clusters of monsters, there's a lot of times where you are tanking clusters of monsters and maybe this ability procs. That 5% chance to stun when you have 10 monsters wailing on you multiple times over the course of 7 seconds, means that this is probably going to proc on every single monster that's hitting you. So this is a pretty substantial buff for Staghorn, and will definitely make him a little bit stronger in PvE content. I'm curious if he's going to be stronger in any type of PvP content because of this. I am a little bit skeptical right now, but I do think, kind of the way it is, because, if you're in PvP, you're most of the time 1v1, so, you only have that 5% chance to proc stun, so I don't think that's really where it's going to kind of carry you. His familiar ability is definitely really good. So we haven't gotten really to any of the familiar combat yet in Ni no Kuni, but it is going to deal 272% of attack as AoE to enemies. What this is really good for is it's also going to pull enemies to the Staghorn. So it's going to disrupt their enemy formation, which will enable your familiars to get in there and deal damage. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any of these 4 stars right now. If I did, I would really want Oroboros. But let's talk about Disbelief, because Disbelief has some problems. And Disbelief is one of the 4-star healers in the game right now. And he really struggles in comparison to the other healers. And you'll notice his base stats are, of course, significantly lower. He has decreased skill cooldown of Earth familiars accompanying the partner by 1%. This, of course, goes up to 2% if you do have him maxed out. He also has decreased basic skill cooldown by 1% for each Earth familiar equipped. So, again, this goes up to 2%, so you could have upwards of 6% skill cooldown reduction. So, that in itself is pretty good. What really struggles, though, is his heal. Now, his heal instantly restores 7.5% of max HP, and it gives plus 1000 HP as well. The problem with this is that this heal is substantially lower than a lot of the other healing 4-star support units in the game right now. In fact, it's so much lower, it's about 50% less. Now, there is a catch here, and the catch is that the heal is instant. So while most of the units in the game have like a instantly heal 10 to 20%, and then they'll maybe have a, heal 2000, but it's over 4 seconds. This is actually an instant heal. And unfortunately, I feel like the large HP pools in Ni no Kuni really reward like these regen heals that can pop like the other 4-star healers. So I really think this puts Disbelief really far behind in terms of being useful. He may only be useful if you're trying to run like a mono win team, or something to that regard. But even then, he doesn't really, unless you're trying to capitalize on party buffs from your other units, it just doesn't seem like it's going to work very well. He does instantly remove Frostbite, and he does increase Frostbite resistance rate by 50% for 5 seconds, which is a global buff. That does also increase to 100% when he's fully leveled up. But again, it's just one of those situations where, I don't know. I don't think this is that good. If you are running him in a party for familiar content, it is going to instantly report HP of the ally familiar with the lowest HP by 35% of ally familiar's max HP. It removes Frostbite from in-range allies. This is probably one of the better single target heals in the game. We've seen other single target heals like Shrimpaler, which are just not that great. So he's probably going to be the second best healer right now in familiar content. But again, that familiar content isn't really in the game yet. So we're going to have to wait and see. Probably the best 4-star Earth unit or familiar in the game right now is going to be Oroboros. There's a variety of reasons for this. Of course, this is going to have to deal with, the capability to deal damage. This is going to be with his passives. But taking a look at his stats here, he's looking pretty good. He is going to have the Earth Damage Up passive, so that's going to go from Earth Damage plus 1% to 5%. So that's going to just straight increase your damage that you're going to be outputting. He has Spin Attack, which deals 230% of attack damage, 100% chance for poison. And a poison, of course, deals 100% of attack damage for 5 seconds. So he's the only 4-star Earth element that did not receive any global buffs, and that's because he's already relatively powerful. He's also the only 4-star offensive Earth composition unit, so he's going to kind of struggle or I would say you would kind of struggle to put together a mono offensive wind composition right now. You're really going to have to wait until we get more of these 4-star wind units coming out, and there are a bunch of them coming. His familiar ability is going to deal 263% of attack as AoE damage to enemies. It's also going to knock enemies down for 2 seconds, so this is in familiar PvP. Very good. Anytime you have knockdown, anytime you have AoE damage, 100% on board. That's going to be really good in helping you, and I'm pretty excited for it. Anyway, everybody, thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys like this style of content. I am continuing to change and evolve my Ni no Kuni content. Please, share this content, like it, leave a comment, because that's the only way the algorithm is going to change to support me. So thank you so much, everybody, and have a great rest of your day.